Hello friends, so here I have a basic self-checkout restaurant menu, and the application, as many other applications, have some global settings like the application name, the application description, the contact phone number, contact email, and how would you usually approach storing these in the application. Option 1 is just to hard code them, but then it's not a great pattern, because if the application name changes or phone number changes, you would want to manually change it in multiple places in the application. So it's not a very sustainable approach. One approach that I took in this specific application is I moved this kind of global settings to locales. So here I have the application title in the tab title, I have it in the application header, and I abstracted to locales. So if I go to environment, here I have a separate folder that I created for locales with application name, description, and so on. So if I change the name and go back to the application, here you see it has been reflected here and here. So just one place to manage this kind of global settings. I again can change show or hide this tab. I will set it to false, and you see the tab is hidden. But it's not a very sustainable approach, because it requires a developer to open the code and do some changes and redeploy the application. So there's been a lot of discussion of what the good approach to storing kind of application-wide settings is. So there's an idea of storing them in application RB, in application config. There's been discussions here suggesting different gems for storing application settings, creating a YML file. Another approach I discussed in episode 45 was the Rails feature config4 that allows you to have environment-specific or global settings in a YML file. I think it is a quite good approach, but it doesn't solve the problem of not requiring a developer to participate in changing the application settings. So recently I discovered this really nice gem, Rails settings cached, that creates a database table where you would be able to store the settings and also have some default settings that you can override. So an admin would be able to actually access the database table and change settings without redeploying the application. So let's try installing this gem in this application. I'll run this command Rails bundle add Rails settings cached. I'll run the install command, and it's going to create a setting model. I could run it with another name, and it would store not in the setting model but in another model that we would like. So anyway, let's use the setting model. So it created a migration and a model. Let's have a look at the migration. db create settings. So it creates a table with the keys and values. And the setting model, here we're given a few fields that we can use as an example. Okay, let's run the migration, Rails DB migrate. Let's open the Rails console and go to setting.all. There are no settings yet. Let's try uncommenting one of these settings. So let's type setting.host. Let's reload. Setting.host. Okay, here we have this host set. Let's move our application name to these settings. So here I will have field app name, type string, and default my restaurant. Okay, let's start the application. And here I'm now getting the application name from locales. Instead, I will get it from setting. So I will have setting dot app name here and here. Let's refresh our application. And here we have the name set as a default in the settings. So I add a one in the end, and you see it has changed here and in the tab bar. Okay, but if we go to our Rails console, if we go to setting.count, you see there are no settings actually stored in the database. We're just using the default. And we want to let the admins see the defaults and override them if they want. So let's add an admin interface. Now if we go to the documentation of the gem, there is an example of routes, controllers, and views that we can copy paste into our application and add these settings. I actually recently made a pull request into this gem. Hopefully it will be merged that runs it as a generator to create these routes, controllers, and views. So it should make the process faster. I will run it from my branch. So here I have my branch, Rails settings cached, my GitHub, and my branch. I will run bundle once again. Now I will run Rails generate settings admin. It will generate the controller, view, routes. So let's have a look. Going to our routes, here we have namespace admin resource settings. I have another namespace admin here, so it's duplicated, but I can put it inside. Okay, now here in our settings RB, I was injected with a few example fields. Additionally, for running tests, going to our controllers, here we have this settings controller with the create action, and we also have the def show that is not defined but is present in the views. So here we go to views, settings show. Okay, let's try actually accessing it in the Rails server. So going to localhost slash settings, slash admin slash settings. And here we have the application settings. So we have like the restaurant name, for example. Here we have the default restaurant name. I will change it to 1 to 3, save settings. You see, we have this new restaurant name. And if we go to Rails console, setting.count, setting.all, you see these other settings have been also saved, but we also have the application name that is taken not from the default, but from what we actually have in the database. So this is really nice. And the gem also provides a lot of cool things like validations for fields that can be edited by admins, read-only fields that can be displayed for admins but not edited. So it's really cool. I encourage you to try this gem and store global configs in one place. And it's really cool that the admins can edit these configs. Now, in this, I have to note that in this application, I'm using simple CSS. So I have this stylesheet script. So if I remove the stylesheet script, then the views for the settings are not really nicely styled, so you can style them on your own. But otherwise, you can use a script like simple CSS just in this single show file to make it look the form look nice. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.